Welcome friends, I am R.K. Sinha, ex-GM Coal India Limited. Now we have already discussed the Unit 5, now we are going to discuss Unit 6 of the MWR 01, that is Inventory, Introduction to Inventory Planning and Control. So this Unit 6 heading is that inventory cost concept of the economic order quantity, means how we control the economic order quantity, means how to assess the when to order and how much to order. This inventory cost concept of the economic order quantity is a very much a specific techniques and very much a special mathematical sampling of the whole thing that we can see in the chapter. So what are the item contents we are taking in this way? We are taking introduction, objectives, inventory and outlook, the jargon or inventory modeling, the operating doctrine, the inventory cost, the concept of order quantity, limitation of EOQ. Objective. Why this is necessary? Describe the various optimization concepts pertaining to the inventory, explain the concept of economic order quantity of inventory, discuss various factors affecting the inventory. Derive the expression for economic order quantity of simple EOQ model and develop the simple deterministic for uniform demand and inventory models. Understand EOQ model for non-uniform demand model. Describe the use of simple inventory model in a practical situations. So these are our objectives. So what we are objectives? We have to optimize the concept of the pertaining to inventory, explain the concept of the EOQ by which we can have an assessment of the item, that how much to procure and when to procure. So this way discuss the various factors affecting the inventory. Derive the expression, means we have a mathematical expression for EOQ of modeling, EOQ modeling. Develop the simple deterministic for uniform command inventory models. Understand EOQ model and non-uniform demand model is the use of simple inventory models in practical situations. What is the outlook of inventory? Inventory outlook. Material, money and time, man hours. Inventory is also known as an idle resource as long as it is not utilized. It is a very good thing that when inventory is lying in the store, it is a idle resource. When it is used in production line, it is inventory used in line. So inventory may be regarded as those goods which are procured, stored and used from day to day functioning of the organizations. This can be in the form of physical resource as a raw material, semi-finished goods used in production process, finished products ready for delivery to consumers, human resource such as unutilized labor, or financial resource such as working capital essential. So this is the outlook of the inventory. Now in detail we are going to the outlook that even in the old time, in the ancient period or in the middle period, the century ago, the inventory are viewed in the veins of wealth of the country, wealth and power of the country, such as individual, a businessman country's wealth, power were assessed in the terms of the quintals of the wheat, heads and cattle, grams of gold stored in the storehouse. The management of such inventory are often an easy affair, means these are the inventory of the country. So these in the previous time, in the old days or as ancient period or a middle period, when the wealth and power of company, that the businessman wealth and the crops in terms of the quintals of wheats and other crops, how much cattle he is having, how much gram of stored in the storehouse, the management of such inventory was an easy affair. In the recent past, inventory viewed as a measure of business failures, businessman throughout has started to put the larger emphasis on liquidity of assets such as inventory. Liquidity of assets such as inventory, until the fast turnover has become a goal to pursue for its own sake. The next outlook that is coming in that way, that concept of the inventory had necessitated the use of scientific techniques in the management of the inventory known as inventory control. Means we have in previous chapter we have seen that how we control the inventory by certain techniques. In way the concept of the inventory has necessitated that inventory, what is the importance of inventory and how it used, we both will have a have necessitated the use of scientific techniques in the management of inventory known as inventory control. Inventory control is a technique maintaining the stock item at desired level. In other words, inventory control is the means by which the material of the correct quality and quantity is made available as and when it is required with due regard to economy in the storage cost, ordering cost, setup cost, manufacturing cost, purchase prices and working the working capital. Means we have to see that inventory stock items, how this affect the other cost than economy in the storage cost, ordering cost, setup cost, manufacturing cost, purchase price and working capital. It is very obvious that quantity of ordered move will result in a more interest in addition to unnecessary storage cost, including wastage of obsolescence cost. On the other hand, if the order is placed for the less quantity, it becomes insufficient and suffers the productions. These promises cannot be kept. Therefore, it is essential to determine the right quantity required. This is at the same time as with the economical as well. The quantity of the jargon of inventory is called economic order quantity. So, let me repeat this thing, that this is at the same time is to be economical, and the quantity in the jargon of the inventory is called economic order quantity. Means we want a right quantity at right place at a right time. Then if some item is needed, then shortage cost will be the considered, and it costs so much to inventory cost, so that you again procure the items, balance items. So it cost, it is not under assessment, the planning is failed. So the need of the this quantity in the jargon of inventory is required, and that way a process has come, that economic order quantity, by which we can know that when to order and how much to order. In the inventory modeling, the main objective of foremost function is to determine the optimum quantity. Optimum quantity should be ordered, and when it will be ordered, at what time it is ordered. So this much kept the inventory very low and effective of inventory used in a regular process, so the production is not hampered as well as the proper utilization of working capital. The concept of EOQ is a perquisite for the understanding the aspect of the inventory. This is the process that which way that we want to procure item, how much item we have to procure for a certain period, and within that period again the reorder will be done, so that or the reordering cycle is going in that way, and the production line is properly utilized, so that inventory is in process, in pipeline always, and there will be no very less storage of inventory in the store. So there will be a very positive impact on the working capital, and we have a very less resources required to do the business, and we have a maximize the profit. The jargon of inventory modeling, it is a very peculiar that the jargon, what are the items is required for the modeling. Inventory horizon, it is time period. It is a time period over each inventory level which is controlled in the horizon. This may be finite or infinite depending on the nature of demand of commodity. Means we have to have a inventory horizon. Means it is a time period that inventory level will be controlled in the horizon. Means it is a time period. Suppose we have taking 1 month, so this item will store in 1 month, because daily we want to use that item. So the horizon is the 1 month. If we are having a 6 month, it is 6 month. So we have to see that the inventory horizon should be very less time period late for the controlling, so that it is a link with the production line, that neither production line is suffered nor the more time period is required for inventory horizon. So this way the impact of inventory horizon much having a greater impact on the production line. Next item is the demand. Demand is the most vital item, that how much to demand. The demand is the number of units required per period, means demand is taken for the year. Generally is taken for the year, period means year. Since the inventory period or horizon is often taken in 1 year, the demand is discussed most generally as a annual demand, number of units required per year or annual requirements. Therefore, in this course, the term demand is used with the sense of the annual demand, unless the otherwise specified. The demand may be either known exactly deterministic or probabilistic, means probability or stochastics. Means demand may be deterministic, means that is decided that some suppose some ball bearings is required, some in a different size of ball bearing 1000 is required, 1000 is required. So we have safe side 1005 will be the procured, but this is the deterministic, but the probability means how much will be required we don't know. So we have a certain analysis by we can do the probabilistic analysis and decide the modeling to what amount of the item is required. Probabilistic means there is some we can use some probability algorithm to calculate or assessment of the requirement of materials, requirement of demand will be there. Probabilistic or stochastic is having the same thing, but probabilistic having a depends on total probability, and practically also a portion of probability will be used for the linear probability, or having a beta distribution is there, normal distribution or beta distribution is there, having a probability of something more than 90%, that will be correct. But in a stochastic probability there will be we can use the logarithm to assess the stochastic probability, but it is practically it is not there that it can be achieved. So this will be a 50-50 time ensure that a stochastic probability will be in a, you cannot ensure that this practically will be happen, or completely unknown. You don't know the demand of the exact demand or probable demand of the item in a practical way. Order cycle. What is the order cycle? The time period between placement of two successive orders is referred to the reorder cycle. Means suppose on 20th of January you took a order, and on the 20th March we do the order. Means the order cycle is 2 months. Means after every 2 months the order will be repeated. So it will be taken into account. Nowadays most of the automobile industry on the production line, they have a order cycle must be acquainted of their vendors. So their vendor know the what is the order cycle is there. So they are the there will be the ancillaries industries which can ensure that their regular supply to their or to follow their order cycle in the placement in the stores or in the production line. So this is the order cycle, is that this is the time period between the two successive order is referred as a reorder cycle. The reorder may be placed on the basis of two types of inventory review system, peak system and queue system. You will see by the graph that what is the order quantity, what is the reorder quantity, what is the lead time, what is the recycle time. You have also a sufficient knowledge in course study, but this figure is very much authentic on the for the mathematical modeling. So because, and that way we can know in a very much in a digital way that how much order we require or when to order or how much to order. Now we will see that inventory terms, what are the terms of the, we can know about the working terms related to the inventory cycle. Inventory terms, first term is giving the inventory cycle. What is the inventory cycle? It is the time of operation of inventory consumption. The time period between the two successive replenishment is referred to inventory cycle. The reorder may be placed on the basis of two types of inventory review system, P system and Q system. So it is the time of operation on the inventory of the inventory consumption. The time period between two successive replenishment means if some item is some 50 ball bearing is required and 50 ball bearing is there, then after the end of 50 ball bearing the next lot also be available. So that is inventory cycle. So it is reorder cycle also. The reorder may be placed on the basis of two types of reorder review system, P system and Q system. What is stock replenishment? Replenishment of the stock may occur instantly when the purchase from outside or uniformly when the product is manufactured in the house. Means replenishment of the stock may occur instantly when the purchase from the outside or uniformly when the product is manufactured in the house. Means how we replenish the stock, how to replace the stock. So there the two sources will be there. Of course, when we are producing in the house, or we can as a spare or raw material we can procure from the outside. So these two types of the stock replenishment from the two source will be there. It is a very thing that we have already the horizon and everything, we inventory horizon and other factor we have discussed. Before going to EOQ, economic order quantity, we must learn the inventory terms. The reorder level. What is reorder level? Reorder quantity. I have already told you the EOQ is based on the two type, one definition, that when to order and how much to order. When to order and how much to order. So it is a very basic theory on which the economic order quantity is formulated. So the next term is that inventory term, the reorder level. Reorder level means your requirement is your requirement is fulfilled, then again this reorder level is item is required in the production line. So the reorder level means, suppose we have a Maruti cars manufacturing in the Maruti industry. So we have some size of the bearings, we have required some different types of bearing. Suppose means 500 bearings we required, a different size. So which type of bearings which is required, for what is the lead time of that one, and what is the consumption level in the assembly line, consumption level of assembly line. So it all depends to the reorder level. The reorder level will be designed on considering all the things, and then reorder level is designed. The level between the maximum and minimum stocks at which the purchasing and manufacturing activity must start replenishment is called reorder level. So this is the very clear in picture that when you maximum level of consumption, suppose we have 200 in stocks, and when it come to the 50, then again the order will be placed. So after every 50 items, we can place a order, so that by the end of the 50 stock, the item should be come from the vendor, and again it is coming to the 100. So this is the reorder level. So reorder level is having to when to order. When to order means there will be a lead time is considered to the of the vendor when the main industry is considered. So on what is the level of maximum? Suppose we fix the level of maximum stock is 100 numbers of items, and we have a minimum stock is having 40 level of items or 30 numbers of items is there. Then reaching on the minimum stock, we place the order, so that reorder level will be there, so that by the finishing of the minimum item, the item which is ordered, which can come to the store, and the production line is not hampered. So this is at which the purchasing manufacturing activity must start for replenishment is called reorder level. So you understand the reorder level there. Reorder quantity, in the same way we have to assess the reorder quantity. Reorder quantity means how much to order, when to order reorder level, and how much to order reorder quantity. This is the quantity of replenishment order. In certain cases it is known as economic order quantity, means how much quantity we have to procure, how much to order. So this will be the clear on the assessment, and that assessment can be done by the economic order quantity. A logarithm is very much used in before some 40 years or 50 years earlier. It is invented in the US, United States of America, and a scientist which I told you renamed to I've just named in the next slide. But they want to know that how much to order, means maximum and minimum stock, when to order and how much to order. The how much to order, that in certain cases the order should be in such a way that operating cost or your storage cost will be the same, and so that economic order quantity is the optimum quantity by which we can have maintain a good production line. Lead time. What is the lead time? Lead time is very much in the earlier chapters, that the time interval between the placing an order, actual interval in the inventory is termed as the lead time. It is denoted by LT. But this lead time is divided into two parts. and obviously you know that longer the lead time, higher will be the average inventory. Longer the lead time, higher will be the average inventory. Lead time is generally split in two components. Internal lead time, that administrative lead time from a initiation of procurement actions to placing an order. That initiation of suppose requisition is given to the store, and after that a purchase action will be done, approval is done, the purchase order is placed. So these are the internal action in the industry. After that it will go to the vendor to supply item. Their external lead time means their delivery lead time, their manufacturing delivery lead time for placing the order to delivery to the of the material. So their internal lead time, external lead time. So both lead time we can, internal lead time is in our purview, so we can control the internal lead time to a minimum period, so that the placement of order should be placed in time, so the material should be come at right time, at right place. So external lead time we can have a naturally the purchase order clause are there, that every vendor has to follow the standard lead time, external lead time for that material. And if the placing naturally they have to take the consideration, so each problems and each calamities to supply the materials well in time. So this is the items, this way we can minimize the lead time, and the lead time is a very much come into importance for the reorder level and reorder quantity, because lead time has, decides that when you get the material, and when you get the material and when material is required, both having the same line. So if the difference is there, then again the manufacturing line and production line will be hampered. So naturally lead time is a just initiation of inventory requirement. So we can take the lead time in a very considerable way and very priority way, that we can have a standard lead time for a particular item, especially the item for the A class item or the scarce items or the fast moving items. So these items which are having the more lead time, that will be very much monitored in that way, so that their placement of order should be done in a time, and their lead time is the expedition of the vendors, expedite the vendors is also now a process for the store management to expedite the vendor, so that their lead time should be minimum to supply the items well on time. So this is the this way lead time has a major impact on the working capital also. When a large amount of a working capital is involved in the inventories, the much more lead time will be the affect the inventory for a blocking of the working capital. So this will be, lead time will be a optimum supply of the material in a optimum time, and their optimum utilization by the production line, so that the lead time will be kept minimum by these things. Thank you.